Morning, YouTube. Yeah. So, where do I start? It's been really interesting for like a week now. God's been moving in different ways, and last night, God gave me a word to give to the people at my local church, and I'm really amazed at how God moves through people. And there was a while that I thought, God can't use me because of the things that I've been through or the things that I've done. But I found out last night that God can use me no matter what, and God can use anybody that's um, ready and willing to yield to Him. Last night during worship at local church, um, I kept hearing the word water in my spirit, and um, then God began to say, what is your water? What is something you need to step out and do? Your water could be you need to find a job or you need to work on your relationship. But whatever your water is, tonight is that night to step out on that water. And I was just totally blown away that that God gave me that to share with the people. And then I was in a hangout with some friends last night, and one of my friend's brothers is a prophet, and he was prophesying over me. It's just like, okay, I get the picture now. But it is just amazing that God used me last night to share that word, and I actually have a few scriptures here. Let me find them. The water reminds me of the story from Matthew 14:22 to 33, where it talks about Peter walking on the water. Let me find the version I read. Okay. Matthew 14:22 to 33. Immediately he made the disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side while he dismissed the crowds. And after he had dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. But by this time the boat was a long way from the land, beaten by the waves, for the wind was against them. And in the fourth watch of the night he came to them, walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified and said, "It's a ghost." They cried out in fear, but immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid." And Peter answered him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink and cried out, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out and took him by the hand, saying, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And they got into the boat, and the wind ceased. Those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "You truly are the Son of God." And when God was speaking to me last night about the water, he reminded me of that story and how Peter was like if it's really you, tell me to come to you on the water. And he took that step of faith. So whatever your water is, it's time to take that step of faith. You know, my water's been that I need to get a job. So I came home last night and redid an application that I had done a few months ago. But you know, whatever your water is, today is that day to step out on that water. So don't let fear hold you back from what God is calling you to do. Don't let the fear of, well, what are they going to think if I do this? What are they going to say if I do that? Don't let any of that affect what you do. I know I recently experienced, some people saying things to me, and I told them the other day, I'm like, God's got a plan and purpose for me, and they can't stop it, and if they can continue to say things about me, but I'm not going to feed into it. So, God can use anybody, but it's time for all of us to step out and walk on the water. And don't be afraid to sink a little bit, but if you keep your eyes focused on Jesus, then you will be able to walk on the water. And I had one more verse I wanted to share here before I close this thing out, and it's Psalms 27 verse 14, and I found this verse last night when my boyfriend asked me to read the Bible to him before bed. And the verse is, wait for the Lord, be strong, let your heart take courage, and wait for the Lord. Many of you have been waiting on God for a while now, and God's saying, just step out on the water. I'm right here waiting for you. It's time to take that step of faith, take courage, and step out and walk on the water. So, yeah, that's really all I've got to share this morning. So, yeah. Okay. Yep, that's all I got to share this morning. So, well, I say it every week. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You can follow me on Google Plus and on Facebook as the same name as my YouTube name. You can find me on Twitter at, I believe my Twitter handle is at Jordan Newman 2. My Skype is JJNewman17, and you can also find me on Facebook through my women's ministry, which is Comfort Ministries. And yeah, so yeah, okay. This is JJ, over and out.